All right, what is up, gamers? This is your boy Beef, and welcome to the channel. I have been playing a ton of Baldur's Gate 3 since patch 7 dropped, and it's some of the most fun I've been having so far has been with the new mods. I've been playing around with them a lot, and I just really wanted to come out here and share a bunch of my favorites so that you guys can join in on the fun too. All the mods that I'm going to be looking at today are going to be available in the in-game mod manager. So that means that if you're playing on console, these will work just fine for you. No issues. As soon as patch 7 finally hits, of course. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Cross my fingers, it'll happen soon. So without further ado, let's hop right into it and start by looking at a few of the quality of life mods that are available. At the top of the list here, we've got pretty much any and all of the UI mods made by Feats in the mod manager, and there's a ton of these. We've got stuff here like updates to the hotbar. There's this one. It used to be a little bit more tighter, I guess, and they spread it out, and it has the option to go up, and you can kind of move these around. I have been notified and told that it sometimes can kind of, see, it hides a bunch of stuff over here. So if there's things that are missing, you just want to make sure that it's that you can kind of scroll these around. But it really kind of just makes it a lot easier. It moves a bunch of things. Your status effects come here instead of being over here where they used to be. A bunch of stuff like that. There are mods that adjust the look of the combat top bar. We don't have any here right now. Let's see if I can put it in turn-based mode. Yeah, so you can see here already it kind of updates the look of these. It shows my AC right here for all of my characters in the party. Shadowheart's got a pretty low one. I should fix that. And it puts character strengths and weaknesses right there on the screen for you. So if I were to click on, let's see, let's find someone like, here we go, Mizora. You can see Mizora is resistant to a bunch of things. She's resistant to physical and magical damage from fire, lightning, frost, and poison, and resistant to physical bludgeoning, just all physical damage basically in there. So you can see that right there instead of having to do this. But at the meantime, we can look at another mod that adds a better kind of right click, a better combat examination screen. Obviously it has these little things here, and then if you click examine, there's a bunch more information in here. You can see that, so all of this stuff is kind of in here. It just kind of updates this and adds a bunch more information and makes things look really clean. And it shows her stats and her saving throw bonuses and everything like that, her level and armor class. The same can be said in our own inventories here. This it makes it a little bit more clean and adds some extra information for everybody. It also this one changes up the colors. You can see in the backgrounds there, like this book, the Dear Onsor, it's a little bit more important than a regular like web grenade. So it has this kind of greenish background. It has more of a, like, you can see, I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but you can tell there are different colors. The less important things just have kind of gray backgrounds, and the more important things have slightly different, like, updates. Like this, the Infernal Iron is blue. It kind of shows its rarity and how important it is, whereas this Amethyst Ring that doesn't do anything just has a gray background, despite them both being just standard items. So next up, we are going to look at some classes. And to do that, we're going to talk to Withers here. Let's take a look. So obviously, some of these classes are available right at level 1. A lot of things like Warlock, some of them we're going to have to go back and look at the mod manager for. But we'll start here. We will start with the Mystic class. This is probably the most in-depth class that is available on the mod manager right now. It's the one that's been around for the longest. And I believe that it was based on a class that was going to be implemented to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, but was not ultimately, and then they took all of the subclasses here and split them up, and kind of, instead of creating one psionics class, Wizards of the Coast gave every other class its own psionics subclass, more or less. And you can kind of see that in the way that the class is built here. The class is built totally on On psionics, it's your intelligence is your strongest your spell casting modifier, your strongest attribute. If we pull up into it, you get tons of these different spells and everything. You get psionic talents, which are new cantrips. These are all brand new cantrips that are put into the game with this mod. You get things that are like, you get your own kind of version of Mage Hand called Mystic Hand. You get other things like Mind Slam, knock a target creature prone, 1d6 force damage. You get all these just really cool kind of cantrips. That this one's a bonus action, Light Step, alter your weight, and Destiny. There's really cool things. You get these psionic disciplines, and this is kind of insane. So psionic disciplines, this is a little bit overwhelming for me. There's just so many options in here. You can see this list, but already it scrolls and it scrolls and it scrolls. There's really, and you only, as far as I can tell, you can really only pick one. This one, the Mantle of Courage and the Crown of Disgust, are native. They are kind of built in. And you get your pick of whichever one you want. You can go with Psionic Weapon, which, if I can pull it up, you have learned how to channel psionic energy into your attacks, lending them devastating power. You just kind of infuse your weapon with your psionic damage. You use psi points to do stuff. It's just a really cool class. There's a ton of stuff. There's 9 subclasses in here. Or not 9. Wait, where'd they go? I thought there were 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 subclasses. Sorry about that. There are 6 subclasses. My favorite so far has been the Order of the Soul Knife. You get to spawn a Soul Knife, and I believe this is just the class that in D&D 5th edition is the Soul Knife rogue. Let's look at a few others. Class. We have access to the Witch class. This is another one of my favorites. It's really kind of interesting. Everything about it is kind of content that's already in the game. There's nothing specifically new, but it kind of grabs different things that really feel very witchy. It's a very interesting vibe, but it's fun. You get access to all sorts of really cool things, like here, but just like your cantrips here, you can turn into a cat. You get Shillelagh, you get Create Water, or Lesser Create Water actually is a new that one does seem it's a new one. You get Dancing Lights, Minor Illusion, Thaumaturgy. The whole kind of thing is about our like arcane trickery and kind of trying to confuse people, and doing things that are just kind of feel very witchy, you know. They feel very Salem, Oregon. You get things like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Fog Cloud, Ready to Destroy Water, Entangle, Speak with Animals, things that you imagine your typical witch kind of engaging in. Oh yeah. Okay, so here we go. At level 2, you get your subclass, which is really fun. There's 4 of them. You get Herbalist, which makes you into sort of a transmutation wizard a little bit, but witchy. You can brew 2 alchemical solutions instead of 1 when combining extracts. If you succeed a DC 15 medicine check, you get Frost Witch, which makes you it makes you resistant to cold damage, taking only half damage from it. Hex Witch, which is a little bit more wreaking havoc, and Witchblade, which is kind of more of a Spellblade class. You get dodging abilities and Long Strider and stuff like that, and you get to more infuse your weapon with elemental damage. You also get class passives like all these things here. You can pick up a couple of these meta magic options, which is really cool. Or you can pick up these new things like Witchcraft Cackle. All foes in the radius hear your unnatural cackling and become afflicted with mental fatigue. So you can really just kind of get the idea that this class is just a bunch of fun. It's a lot of there's a lot of really cool things that are just unique, and there's nothing else really like it in the game. So let's talk to Withers again and look at some more classes. Yes, Withers, we know. Fate spins along as thou desire. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so under Warlock, we've got a bunch of really fun subclasses. We've got one in here that I have installed currently. We have the Dread Overlord. This is probably my favorite subclass that I've downloaded so far. There's a ton of flavor for it. Let's just go over it. You're a cultist fighting under the banner of the Dread Overlord, a monstrous Draco-Lich necromancer who seeks to spread his maleficence and terror over all lands. In return for your service, boundless power over death itself and the promise of eternal life await. Command the very souls of the dead and raise powerful greater undead in his profane name. So this subclass is freaking awesome. You get necrotic armaments, which just imbues your weapon with necrotic damage. Really cool. Reclaim undead. Sever the link to the undead created by the target, created by the cursed Night of the Living Dead. Regain a minion point for each reclaimed undead. You have minion points, which is a new sort of resource to manage as this class or subclass. Shield of Souls, which increases your armor class, I believe. And you get Crate Crawling Claws, so you can spawn these little crawling claws that kind of float around everywhere. Dread Cultist. There's a ton of stuff in here. A bunch of features. Forbidden Lore increases your stuff. Invoker of Spirits, Soul Harvest. You can really tell that whoever created this mod did a lot of work. You get a starting weapon, which you can start with a Bone Staff, a Skull Flail, a Ritual Sickle. I did a Skull Flail when I was testing it out, and it was really sick. Especially since you can just kind of upgrade it and add the necrotic damage to it, and then you can really, and if you go, there's some really cool extra stuff when you hit your packed boons and everything in here. Let's go back and look at some other subclasses we have access to. This one has a weird kind of icon here, but it's not associated with a sorcerer for some reason, but it is the Divine Soul Sorcerer. I'm a little bit partial to this subclass because I played a Divine Soul Sorcerer in my most recent D&D campaign, and it's really fun. You get access to both the Sorcerer spell list and the Cleric spell list, so you get a really cool kind of combo there. You can use your meta magic to with different spells, like let's see, like Sanctuary you could do, or Guiding Bolt. You could do Twin Spell. Guiding Bolt is what I did a lot in D&D. And you pick an affinity here where you kind of align yourself with a specific type of deity that has granted you your powers. It's just really cool. I almost closed it. So while we're on this screen, we can take a minute to look at, this is a new loading screen, obviously. One of the mods adds a bunch of new loading screens into the game. This one I haven't seen before myself. Looks really cool. Ooh, I like this. This looks like, I don't even know. This looks like, oh, this looks like Act 2. Somewhere, someplace in, but I like it. I really like these new, you can see here's just a profile of Lae'zel. Really cool. Why not? So let's open up the mod manager. Here we go. It pulls up this. I usually have to click on search before this will pop up. So let's go back and look at our subclasses that we were talking about. Yeah, I don't know why it does this. Subclasses. Let's see. Okay. You can see here we got the Witch class. There's not a bunch of information in here, so, you know. Ooh. Looks like they're testing information for a Mage Blade passive. That's really cool. There are other things in here like Blood Mage. There's a ton of stuff in here. There's the Dread Overlord you can see. There is the Mystic expansion. If you wanted to add some extra stuff to the Mystic, I don't know why you would want to add more content to that class. It's already incredibly thorough and developed, but to each their own. 55,000 players were really into it. More to them. This is a new subclass that was just dropped today or yesterday, I believe. I'm really interested to try it. The Swashbuckler Rogue is a rogue that's from 5e, and it's really fun. It's really focused on kind of movement and, you know, swashbuckling. So it's really good for a duelist type of class. The Spellblade School is a really fun sort of wizard subclass that gives you access to finesse weapon parry. It just makes you into a really nice Spellblade. It gives you the swift magic weapon, which is just a nice little magic weapon boost, and then you get a bonus to it later, which makes your weapon a +3. So if you have a weapon that's already a +3, you could do it again and make your weapon effectively a +6, which is kind of insane and a little bit broken. But you know what? Baldur's Gate 3 is all about just breaking the game, so that's what we're here for. Especially with mods. There's tons of things in here. There's the Celestial Warlock, which is a sort of divine-themed warlock instead of the Great Old Ones or the Dread Overlord or whatever like that. There's other things like the Arcane Vanguard, the Blood King, the Succubine Sorcerer. Here's the Divine Soul Sorcerer. There's the Horizon Walker Ranger subclass. This is one of my favorites. It's another one from D&D. It's kind of focused on teleporting, and it uses the extra planar stuff to kind of zip back and forth. A new one that just got added yesterday is the 5e Eloquence Bard. This one's really cool. I haven't really done a lot of work with this in traditional 5e D&D yet, but it seems really cool. It's one that's really, if you think bards are focused on speaking, this one is very heavily focused on speaking. He is the talker of talkers. We have other things here like the Remembrance Warlock, which is another Warlock subclass, which is it also kind of defaults for the Dark Urge. It basically gives you access to the magical secrets spell list from bards, which is really nice. There's all sorts of stuff in here. We have access to a bunch of custom classes like the Draconic Cultivator, which is self-proclaimed broken, just for fun, not meant to be balanced at all. There's tons of stuff in here. Let's take a look at some of these quality of life mods that we were talking about earlier. And we have things like adjustable party limit. We have the all camp clothes and dyes. This just adds a bunch of dyes to your party. Makes it easy. You have all the camp clothes. You can really kind of just, that way you're not stuck with that kind of ratty looking robe at the beginning. You can put on whatever you want and make it look however you want, and it's the same with your clothes. Obviously, it's not very immersive to just have a box full of all this stuff at the beginning, but it's here for your customization if you wanted to do it. Adjustable party limit. You can increase your party limit size to basically have as many people as you want, which is really nice if you're wanting to do that. They're also working on a Tactician Enhanced mod, which I'm really excited for. It sounds really nice because if you have obviously more than 4 players and you have a whole party of overpowered monks, then things are going to be a little bit difficult. So Tactician Enhanced will kind of help balance these things out for us. There are other things here like Faerun colors, which just adds a bunch of extra colors to the game, and things like that. You can see in here, this is a pretty extensive one. There's a lot of different colors that get added to it. You can see here better inventory UI. This one is great. It's the one that I was talking about that just kind of changes the colors and the backgrounds and makes things a little bit easier to see. Mod manager fixes. This is the one that kind of updates the way that things look here in the mod manager. It makes it so that these pictures here present a little bit better, so you can see them. Better target info. This is the one that puts up the this part here, the extra effects and their vulnerabilities and things like that. We can see in here better hotbar. This is the better hotbar 2, I suppose. This is the one you can see what it does all in here that shows vanilla versus modded. You can see it doesn't look that different, but it does in the end. You can see it kind of spreads out. It moves the status holders from there to there, or from there to there, sorry. Small 16 columns grid, all that great stuff. Better mini map, better character and party panel. Containers extended. I've been told that this one is not working very well right now, that it needs to be updated, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tested it very well myself. There's just tons of things in here. There's weightless gold, which is fantastic. I have another one that does basically the same thing, but this one will just make your gold weightless, which is great because it sucks when when your Tav is not a strength character and you have 20,000 gold by the time you're in Act 3 and you just can't have anything else in your inventory. There's tons of stuff in here. Polyamory fixes. This allows you to, if it's not for me, but if you're really into it, go by all means. It disables your companions from having jealous reactions or breakups or getting mad. You can force them. We've got things here like the better context menu, better containers, better tooltips. You can uncap your inspirations if you really want to. I think 4 is fine, but by all means, play how you want to play. We've got some other mods here, like Ember's Loot. This is actually one of my favorites. It's just because I really like bards. It gives you these kind of little effects and things that you can use for bards and for playing your instruments. It allows you to spawn Alfira and play the Weeping Dawn. Great things like that. Let's see. Alfira joins the party. There's all sorts of great mods in here. And I usually organize these by, when you go into here, if you can search by type, and then I click on usually most downloaded, and you can just kind of search through. Some of these I haven't downloaded because they're just not for me. Like Origin Feats. Just it's part of the new D&D 5.5-ish, the new 2024 Player's Handbook, but I don't really feel like updating it yet. You can see I downloaded a bunch of stuff, but not everything. There are a lot of things that you can, if you really wanted to, you could add in a feat every level for pretty much every class. These are things that are totally unnecessary, but you can do if you want to. There's lots of stuff in here. If you wanted to download some dice, you could download some dice. If you didn't like the way the normal dice in the game look, you could download the Saloon of dice, or even if you just wanted to do something thematic. If you're going for a fire build, why not do fireball dice? If you're going for if you're playing a drow, why not do the Underdark dice? You can see right there. If you're doing the Dark Urge, why not roll Dark Urge dice? You can make it thematic for your playthrough. It's really, the options are pretty much endless in here. There's even this one. I downloaded this one. This one's obviously one of my favorites. Dolor dice. This one looks really cool with the Eldritch Blast inspired. There's lots of stuff in here. Even if you are a non-Loathsworn drow, you can go with the Eilistride dice. There's lots of stuff. There's also some playable races that we are going to take a look at. There is the Elemental Power Ganassi. Ganassi are really cool. They are a cross between humanoid races and fire, earth, or water genies. I don't know why this picture isn't showing up. Sometimes it doesn't load properly. You can see the picture here. You can play as a Ganassi. There is also the Astral Elves, which are a type of elf that is new. They are kind of space elves a little bit, I guess. They have pink skin. You can play as a Kuotoa, because why the heck not? If you want to play as a fish, you can be a Boal priest. You get these cool extra pinching and fishnet and bloodbath actions. It's just really fun. I saw people playing this on stream and it looked absolutely hilarious. There's all sorts of things in here. You can play as a Shadar Kai, an imp race, faces unlocked, which gives you a whole bunch of new faces to play as in the game. Vampire origin if you want to play as a vampire. If you want to be a Starian without actually having a Starian, or if you just want to be your own character. You can do free respects and hirelings if you just don't want to pay the 100 gold for it. I don't know why you wouldn't, because you can just steal from Withers, but I guess if you don't want to steal from Withers, then this is a good option. We've also got things in here like the Owlin race. This is one of my favorites. I actually just downloaded this yesterday. This is hilarious. You can play as an Owlin, and you get you become this big buff owl. It's hilarious. I love it. You get wings and you get a tail, and you can customize your eyes, and it's really funny. You get a fly action, which is really cool. I'm playing that on stream, so come hang out and watch me play that. I was doing that actually with one of the subclass mods. I don't remember. I think I was doing the Horizon Walker Ranger. That sounded fun. There's an Aasimar race in here, which is really cool. You can also get wings, which is really fun. There's all sorts of stuff in here. There's not a ton of mods, I guess, coming there's for the races yet. I'm assuming these are ones that are being worked on, probably a little bit more difficult to work with player, like just the character boxes, I guess, the player shapes. But there's tons of hilarious things in here, like a Shortians. We got Shortaheart, because you can, why not turn Shadowheart into a gnome? Why not? You can turn Mini Minsk in Big Boo. Why wouldn't, I mean, of course, let's do it for fun. There's all sorts of crazy things in here that you can mess around with. There are different spell things. For instance, okay, so I don't know why this is showing up in spells, but let's talk about it while we're here. There is the improved UI, which is kind of the base for all the other mods. You kind of need, this is like a prerequisite for a lot of the other mods. If you don't have this, you can't install a bunch of them. There, you know, instead of spells, let's just go and look at customization, because that's what all that stuff was. Was it? Yeah. So all that stuff, let's look at Faces of Faerun. It adds a bunch of faces that are kind of out in the world and aren't usable normally to your character, but you can apply them with this. Kay's hair extensions adds a bunch of hair extensions to just kind of fully customize your hair look. It allows you to choose a hairstyle and then an additional hairstyle on top of it. We've got Kay's hair mod, which is the OG first hairstyle that you then amend with additional styles on top of it. There's tons of things in here, like new piercings, different heads for Dark Selder and Drows, different NPC eye, skin, and hair colors, bangs, all sorts of stuff. I haven't spent a lot of time messing around with these cosmetics just because the cosmetics aren't the things that interest me as much, but they are here if you want to. There's tons of stuff that you can just kind of mess around with and make your character look basically however you want to. There are also a bunch of cheat items if you really want to. I have them downloaded so I can mess around with them in testing, but I haven't, we've got infinite arrows here, infinite potions, cheater's ring. This is a great one because it basically just makes you impossible to kill. Adds a plus 20 to all dice rolls, always critical roll on ability checks, all ability scores to 20. It's just kind of a way to streamline yourself to the end if you need to test something out. And you can even, oh, look at this. You can greater invis yourself, you can eldritch blast yourself. It gives you access to pretty much everything. You've got all sorts of barrels in here, all this armor, great stuff. Healing potions, magic missile, misty step, whatever you need. Cheater's ring is great for those options if you really need that. Infinite elixirs, things like this, feats on every level, if you wanted to add that across the board. Or feats on even levels, I should say. Midas touch, free gold if you just want free gold. So that pretty much does it for all of the mods that have been my favorite so far in the mod manager. They have been growing ever since patch 7 dropped. We can look at actually when I first opened this mod manager, there were probably 5 or 6 pages, and now we are up to 44 only a week and a half, 2 weeks later. So these mods are coming at us incredibly quickly. There are tons of things being added every day. I check in and see what we've got. There's just a ton of cool stuff being added. So yeah, that does it. I want to thank all of you for watching. Let me know what your favorite mods have been in patch 7 so far, or if you're playing on console, which one you're most excited for. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and stick around for more videos about Baldur's Gate 3. Thanks, and have a great day.